guys, Mark here, Celtic Crossbows. This one we're going to do a little bit different for the ladies. After my recent sales flurry and my YouTube viewer figures, 20% of you now are our ladies, and of my eBay sales, around about 65% of my sales at the moment are going to ladies down on the southeast coast of the UK, meaning a significant change in demographics over the last 3 years, where predominantly my channel was mainly for males. It's now catering for both. So this video now we're going to do on UK home defence. If you're a lady in the home alone with your children and you're living down on the south coast, and what you can do to help improve your home defence. This is part 2 of 2, part 1 of 2. I'll link in the description below. Hope you enjoy the film. Okay, so first one we're going to look at, if you want to practice shooting, what can you use and what's really an option in the UK. You can use the CO2 air pistols like the Barrister 92F, Walther CP99 from the likes of Brocock, or some of the imitation revolvers. Is all well and good, but at the end of the day they're toys. And if you was to get yourself involved in a legal situation, they look identical to the real thing, and you get yourself in a real load of shit with firearms. So don't go down the pistol route. That's the first one. Even though you can legally use one in the UK, use one in your back garden, use a safe fire stop, you get the do-gooders in the woke brigade and look to stop everything you do enjoying your sport. Okay, so the next form of shooting which you might want to venture into would be per se archery. Now a conventional bow takes a lot of practice. Professional archers can take 5, 10, 15, 20 years plus, like Joe Gibbs, to master the war bows, the powerful bows, which actually offer a decent level of defence. Something like a 25, 30 pound bow, which I consider to be a child's sporting bow. It's something and nothing, and by the time you learn knocking and get your speed up to do it, it takes a lot of practice and time. So I'll use one, in my view, genuine option for target practice, and that will be the crossbow pistols. Why crossbow pistols and not the rifles? Again, unless you're of a large build, the crossbow rifles of 175 pounds plus are slow to reload, require a lot of effort to load, and again offer limited manoeuvrability on the range whilst practicing. Okay, so we look now towards the pistol bows and what your options are for practicing shooting from a lady's point of view. Okay, so 3 which you could seriously consider for medium-sized females and for practicing would indeed be the likes of the Horizon Redback, the Polang range of clone pistols, which would be the Redback Desire XL, the Steambow Stinger, Mancung Alligator, and the Anglo Arms OP360, I believe. They all offer a good return of power in single shot form, and gives you a good opportunity to practice technique, build up muscle strength, and build up your familiarity with the weaponry and how to best use it in said given circumstances on the firing range. So I'm going to put up some of the pictures now of the options, like the Horizon Redback. Its pros and cons are, it can take a magazine, but only from the manufacturer, and you must buy the magazine version from the start. It has a lower power in magazine form as towards pistol carbine form, and the limited upgrades available for it. That's why I certainly recommend this form, the Polang range, because they offer significantly better choice of upgrades, what you can do with them, and much more versatile a choice, and in my view a more reliable device with less things that go wrong. Okay, there are other options available to you as well, not just those. From a legal standpoint, I'm not going into the legal technicalities. You need to speak to or go view the Black Belt Barrister. He has an excellent channel. He's recently covered self-defense, so pop over see him. I'll put the links down below in the description to the Black Belt Barrister. Excellent channel, and he's full of amazing advice on where you can get tips on self-defense, etc. It is legal to use weaponry to defend yourself in the UK, depending on the circumstance. I'll emphasise that, depending on the circumstance. If you're a lone woman home alone, 3 guys come bursting into the house and they've all got baseball bats and machetes, and you're alone protecting your child, you can use the minimum force necessary to defend yourself. So if you're fearing for your life, that of your children, and you're home alone and you just happen to be cleaning your Purdy shotgun, that's perfectly fine. Because if your life is in threat and they're attacking you and you're in fear of your life, and that's the only defence you've got, one small woman against 3 large men carrying weaponry, that in my eyes would be legal, as I best interpret the law, because it's the minimum force necessary to defend your life. Right, so with that said and done, this is why I said go check with the Black Belt Barrister, but that's why I interpret how he interprets the law as a barrister. So double check with that. So we're going to look now at the power limbs and what's best for you. Okay, leverage comes into effect as well, so we're going to take a look at that as well. Okay, so one of the things to take into consideration is lethality. The more lethal something is against your opponent, the more it can often swing in your opponent's favour in the UK. For example, if your opponent comes into the house on his own, armed with just a butter knife, not a butterfly knife, a butter knife, and you're wielding a crossbow and you shoot him with it, you would be the one that would be in trouble and not the guy breaking into your house. In America it's different. If a guy enters your house, you can use any force deemed necessary to remove that perpetrator from your house. Not so in the UK. It is the minimum force necessary. If he's using a butter knife, you can use a bread knife. If he comes with a baseball bat, you can cut back with a cricket bat, etc. You can't go straight to a firearm or go get a firearm or something like that, because then that would be classified as premeditated, not reactive. Reactive is you sat watching the TV, somebody comes burst into your house and you pick up an ashtray and throw it at them. That's reactive. If, however, you deliberately run to the kitchen to get a knife to defend yourself, that's premeditated. You're making a conscious decision to go and fetch a weapon. Okay? So with that said and done, we're going to look at the different levels now of the powers of the crossbows and what I would consider adequate. Okay, so the first choice I would say is 0 power. Why do I say that? Sometimes intimidation is just enough. When an intruder, no matter what their goal is, when faced with a crossbow, 99% of the time they're going to retreat and run away. A shot need not be fired, and the scene immediately de-escalated. The perpetrator is gone. You don't need to follow up a shot. Problem solved. Without any violence or anything else. Again, this would involve you being sat on the sofa and cleaning your crossbow 24 hours a day, which is highly unlikely. So it would be a case of scenario given at any particular moment in time. A single shot crossbow like this one, you're one shot. This is an OP360, and you've got somebody coming into your house, multiple targets, of a certain rubber dinghy background, which has been going on down south as I best understand it. and one shot is not adequate. It wouldn't be enough, it wouldn't suffice. Whereas something like a Steamboat Stinger gives the option of multiple shots, leverage for a quick reload, 7-shot magazine, and the ability to take out multiple targets at the same time. Again, is a visual stimuli. Again, faced, coming into somebody's house, you imagine a scenario, you're gentlemen of a certain background coming into a country, got no money, and you're on the prowl. You see a house, you've been staying out for a few days, young woman on her own, like a certain Jill Dando I remember, killed on your front doorstep. Very sad, poor woman, beautiful woman, assassinated over probably what we will never know. Okay, we're not a bit off the line here, but what we're going to remember is these people coming to your home, they're coming in and they're expecting predominantly all British women, especially females, to be unarmed, undefended. I think this is an attitude that needs to change, which my figures have shown me from sales and my YouTube videos is changing. So for those of you young ladies out there wishing to improve your home security in those areas, I would certainly recommend something like the Steamboat Stinger AR6. On mine I've got a £120 bow. I'm a big guy, just over 6 foot, around about 190, 200 pounds in weight, around about 16, 17 stone. You'll probably see something not to be argued with. If I was coming into your home and you pointed a crossbow at me, I'm going to freeze, I'm going to stop. Because I know what these can do, and anybody with half a brain is going to stop dead in their tracks and retreat. So as a visual stimuli, as a deterrent, highly recommend it. You don't need to even load them, because somebody with the magazines from head on, you can't even tell they're not loaded. So as a visual deterrent, they do a great job. Which I also assure the police would agree with, that faced with a crossbow, anybody with half a brain is just going to back off. So that's the first one. It's a visual deterrent. Now you look at the power levels. I got a £120 Magnum bow in mine. I can operate it, it's okay. But the speed of reload isn't there. The £80 and £90 limb is much better for a guy my size, for a fast reload. However, you can get £55 bow limbs, which I would recommend for a small to medium sized female. A large female, you could easily operate the £80 to £90 bow limbs. But if you're the smaller stature, with the leverage, with the stock, I would definitely go for the £55 steam bow limb to be used in the other pistol crossbows and put into the Stinger AR6. Okay, so to recap then, I wouldn't go for the pure pistol crossbows. They're okay, they are harder to cock, because they are shorter, they require more mechanical leverage to load. The carbine crossbows like the Steamboat Stinger AR6, which I highly recommend, much better, different choice of power levels, and you have the different lengths as well to make it much easier to cock. You can go for the Mancung Alligator, again an excellent option. You will have to buy a magazine for it separately and modify, but that's no problem at all. You can buy all these between £50 for a basic Alligator, £45–50 OP360 Bay Desire XL, right through to say £350 for a fully tricked out Steamboat. And for people inquiring, it's UK legal defence. UK legal defence requires the minimum effort required to eliminate a problem or remove a problem from your situation. If you have 3 horny gentlemen running in your house carrying machetes, bayonets, cricket bats and brandishing a hard-on, they're not here to yell trick or treat. And you want them eliminated from the property as quick as possible, because the longer you take, the more time they have to assess the situation and the more time they have to prevent you from contacting emergency services. So speak to or pop on over to the Black Belt Barrister. He covers this subject in depth. And even if you did have a knife against three burly guys, muscular, which have just paddled across the English Channel, I don't think an 8-stone English female is going to promote much of a deterrent or challenge to them. So I hope you enjoyed this little video of my sales and everything, but my sales have significantly gone up on eBay for female archers, and particularly crossbow bolts, crossbows, and plethora alike. Whereas on my YouTube channel, I've gained a 20% viewing of female followers. So now on roughly 650 followers. Thanks guys, appreciate it. Roughly 65, young female viewers between 20 and 25 years of age. I think what I'm going to do in the future, I'm going to leave a comment over in my community section, and maybe we can get a couple of you on the channel, do some shooting and testing some systems with you and see what power levels are capable at. And I say a few females of different sizes from different groups, whether you're Indian, African, English, Celtic, which is obviously the Cornish, the Welsh and the Scots. What's them ones across the water, the sidecar on the side of England? Irish. I have some of you on as well. Okay, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I've enlightened you a little bit what's going on demographically in the UK by my sales figures. So crossbow sales are massively on yet amongst the female demographic around the south of England, and I have the figures to prove it, and also the YouTube figures as well. So if the police say any different, I got the information to back me up to prove what's actually going on in the country. Women are arming themselves, they're scared, they are worried, they are afraid, and every right to be so, with our local councils doing absolutely nothing at all protect our local female and children. So until the next one, thanks and bye bye.